time.
What difference does that make?
Well, depending on the time, he may be in one spot or several.
You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength.
Hello, humans. Welcome back to the Slackline Quote of the Day broadcast. You are here with the boss.
The boss is coming! That's a made-up dumb fairy tale name, you
And we are chatting quotes from around the web and around where we're from, wherever. It is February 13th, 2018, coming at you from Vancouver, Canada. Yesterday we had a quote that talked about books, and it got me thinking today about my love of Batman. And so today I decided to do something kind of fun. But first, let's get to our sponsor from Jerry, who's our sponsor today, is Dr. Joker's Anti-Depressants. Very, very powerful antidepressants will get you out of any funk, will have you laughing in no time. Those are Dr. Joker's antidepressants. Be very, very careful with those. Any small amount above the recommended dose can send you into a psychopathic rage. So, we are talking about Batman today. I thought I wanted to maybe break down the best ways that one can consume Batman if they want to get into his lore and into his thing. And that they are bringing us our quote from the Joker, from The Dark Knight. See, I'm not a monster, I'm just ahead of the curve. That is from the Joker, from The Dark Knight, and I think that quote kind of encapsulates the essence of the Joker and what he thinks about himself as being kind of this agent for as he says, agent of chaos, and agent of just this idea that that nothing really matters, and so it exemplifies Batman's struggle with him, because obviously Batman believes that life does matter and that it's worth living. So I wanted to break down basically my love of Batman, and if anybody was thinking about getting into Batman, what are the best ways to get really familiar with his lore and all the good things that go along with it. So I thought we would do a bit of a countdown from 10 to 1 of what I think are top 10 ways to consume Batman. Again, these are just my opinion, and it's all about kind of how to get the best sort of vision of Batman, the best knowledge of Batman that you can. We're gonna start with number 10, the Adam West Batman. People might shit on that. I think that the Adam West Batman is kind of a quintessential part of Batman's history. And although it's goofy, it is fun and funny, and you can look back on it with a nostalgia that I think they kind of meant to have at the time. Just kind of a lighthearted goofiness with the character for the swinging 60s, and I think that if you smoke a little weed and go and watch some of those episodes, you'll have yourself a good time, a few good laughs. Number 9 is Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond, really short cartoon series, followed up the animated Batman the Animated Series on WB, set way in the future. Bruce Wayne is an old man, and Terry something Gibbons, I think. Terry Gibbons, that sounds right. Is his choice to be the new Batman. He's kind of just a regular kid, fighting to do the right thing, and it's short-lived but really fun, and kind of a bit of a darker series too. Really well animated and well written, so I recommend you check that out. At number 8 is The Dark Knight Rises, the third installment of Nolan's Batman trilogy. Most people tend to think it's the weaker of the three. I usually agree, although I did see The Dark Knight Rises for the first time after a Batman marathon in a theater, and it was awesome. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it is I think the lesser of the three, and it doesn't really dive much deep into the lore of Batman as much as it kind of adapts it for a more realistic setting. Not that that's a bad thing. It's a great thing. But yes, it's at number 8. On to number 7 is Under the Red Hood. That is I have here for the movie, the animated movie that you can find on Netflix. There's a comic for Under the Red Hood. I've never read it, so I can't put it on here. But the movie's one of my favorites. It really creates kind of a really great conflict for Batman when he finds out who the Red Hood is, why he does what he does, and the background between Batman and Joker really takes hold in this type of scenario. Number 6, I have Batman Begins. As a movie, I would say Batman Begins is probably better than The Dark Knight, but as a look into kind of Batman lore, although it is a great look into the beginnings of Bruce Wayne and Batman, and it does track one of our other entries quite closely. It is below The Dark Knight on this list as far as its series is concerned, because it's missing Heath Ledger, who obviously gives such a brilliant performance as the Joker. At number 5, we have The Killing Joke, the comic. It's a great story, a chilling story of the psychosis of the Joker and what he does to challenge not only Batman but Commissioner Gordon as well. Some pretty disturbing things in this one, but a really iconic example of the fight between Batman and the Joker, and the ending is just fantastic. Right above it at number 4 is The Dark Knight Returns, again the comic. Not much to say about it other than it's one of the best graphic novels of all time. A really great look into kind of the parallel existence of Batman and the Joker, and how the Joker is kind of catatonic while Batman is in retirement, and just as he comes out to fight another force, the Joker pops up at the same time. It kind of shows that they are the antithesis of each other, and just a great read all around. At number 3, Batman Year One. I put this above Dark Knight Returns because I really love the look into the origin of Batman. Plus, I love the look into Commissioner Gordon, who I think is one of the more interesting characters. And honestly, if you look at Gotham, the TV series, it's really, really good as well. But Batman Year One, the comic or the movie, I think the animated movie really does a great job of capturing the comic, and so I think either one of those, for your pleasure or both, are great things to ingest, and they sit at number 3. Sitting at number 2 is The Dark Knight. That is, of course, the Christopher Nolan movie featuring Heath Ledger as the Joker. And again, the main reason I put it here is his performance. It is a great movie, brilliant movie. But as far as, the deep lore into Batman, again, the Nolan trilogy is more of a twist on it than it is a real hard look at it. But I think it's worth seeing just for Heath Ledger's performance itself and for how it will impact the look of the Joker as we go forward. And before we get to number one, few honorable mentions. I have Death in and of the Family. Those are two series that I haven't read that apparently are quite iconic. I haven't read them, meaning to, along with The Long Halloween and Hush. Other comics I haven't gotten into. Arkham Asylum is a graphic novel I have. Doesn't quite make the cut, but is a great Grant Morrison vehicle that is, and the artwork is just fantastic in it. The Arkham Asylum video games are a great way to get into Batman as well. All of the movies on Netflix, the WB movies, basically anything that features Batman is awesome. The Dark Knight Rises, Red Hood, Son of Batman, Killing Joke, Year One, and Doom, all those kind of Justice League movies. I'm not a huge fan of DC, to be honest, but those movies are really well done, and I recommend anybody check them out. And there's a bunch of Psychology of Batman YouTube videos that are also really interesting to check out if you're ever interested in a deep dive into they'll look at his characters and that type of thing. And number one might come as no surprise to hardcore Bat fans, but maybe a bit of surprise to people that are purely movie fans. Batman, the animated series, comes in at number one. Gives us some of the most iconic versions of the characters, including Kevin Conroy's Batman and Mark Hamill's Joker, and informed the lore more than probably any other single piece of media outside of the comics themselves, and actually created a few characters. So if you're looking to get really into Batman and to all of his rogues gallery and all of the background and the nuance and all that stuff, Batman the Animated Series, although it technically is a children's cartoon, is a very great look, well written, well animated look into that. It is an Emmy award-winning series, so recommend everybody check that out. That is it for the Slackline quote of the day today. That quote again coming at us from the Joker. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. Again, the Joker from The Dark Knight. That quote brought to us by Dr. Joker's Anti-Depressants. Just a tiny dose will have you smiling and laughing in no time, but be very careful, because anything more will turn you into a raging lunatic. That is it again. Thanks again to the Crooked Spies for providing their music. Please remember to follow the Slackline on Instagram at the.slack.line, on Twitter at slackline_radio, and on YouTube and iTunes at the Slackline Podcast. You have been listening to The Boss.
The boss is coming! That's a made-up dumb fairy tale name, you.
Thanks again to anybody checking out. Thanks to Jerry across in the booth over there. And we will see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye for now.